Hi everyone and welcome for this new painting tests. So this time I'm going to use the Warpaint Air from Army Painter, and that's a pretty good surprise because it's going to be a perfect way to change my mind about painting with airbrush. I use a lot of Pro Color and it's a very complicated paint to find on internet. So if that's worked pretty well into my airbrush, so I will use more of that into my tutorial and you can more easily find the paints I use. So we are going to take a look to the covering of the color and if the color is pretty fluent into the airbrush, and I need that color not to damage the airbrush or make it very dirty. So we are going to take a look and make a test. Let's go for the paint. So here is the first Warpaint Air set. This is a starter set, so there are not a lot of color, but enough to try how that's going to work. There are a kind of system of different tones, so you can more easily, for people who are going to be beginner, it's pretty cool because you are the mid-tone, so the one we are going to highlight with and the one we are going to pushing our shadow, so that's pretty cool. There are a lot of different colors, so we are going to try, open this and try how that's work into my airbrush. Let's go! So it's always welcome to have this kind of painting guide into. It's free and you can more easily see the different steps. It's very beginner things, but that's always welcome. This is some quick explanation about how it's composed your paints and in which way you can use it. So you can see that sometimes there are some medium you can remove on the top of your bottle. So we have a primer into the boxes, so that's pretty cool because it's ready to use once again. So let's start directly on some few miniatures just to show you the results. So I'm going to start with the green skin, and as you can see I directly put into my airbrush. A lot of time I use first my diluents and after my paint, but now I try to make exactly the same than Army Painter tell us, so directly using from the bottle to the airbrush. And to be honest, that's worked pretty well. That's not going to be you know, when you use airbrush and the paint is too large and too complicated. No, it's very fluent, easy. As you can see on the black coat, that's worked pretty well. That's very covering. So once again, for me, it's a success. And as you can see, it's not so complicated because you just have to put into your airbrush and after step by step pushing your color. For sure, between two different colors, you are going to clean your airbrush just by using some airbrush cleaner into your element, and after you just have to put the new color, and that's worked pretty well. As you can see, I tried on a black coat, a white, and now on some contrast quick paint, and that's worked very well. So now I'm going to use some demonic yellow because this kind of paint lots of time is not enough covering, and especially with some airbrush paint. But as you can see on the shoulder, it's very covering, so it's just perfect. You can paint directly on a black coat directly. That's work pretty well. I try to do the same but on the white part, and the color is very similar. So once again, that's a success. For the moment I use it during something like 1 hour. I change a lot the color just to try a different kind of color. I make some mix, like right now I use a mix between the green skin and the yellow, demonic yellow, just to have a more highlight for my green skin, and that works pretty well. For the moment I paint something like 1 hour with, and without doing a very big clean of my airbrush, that works pretty good. Same way, I always try to find a good red for my airbrush and never find, and this time with the pure red it's pretty easy. You just have to put, and that works pretty well. Even if you have a black coat at beginning, as you can see, you can directly create your transition and have something very nice on the axis. So to be really honest, when I try it, I can't have my voice on directly the video, so I make it in a 2 time. But it was a real pleasure, and at the beginning I just want to paint something like some few minutes with, to try and let's go. But finally I paint a lot, different kind of model, all the model I have on my table, and I am going to probably use a lot of this paint during my tutorial, just because that worked pretty well and it's pretty easy and I love that. I try the white, by the way, just because I use a lot of white to create my non-metallic metal part, and as you can see, that's work. Once again, that's work, and that's pretty cool because I was not necessarily sure about that, because I use a lot of pro color, but it's very difficult to find to buy pro color on internet, and this one is pretty easy to find and pretty good. So what I can say after all these tests, really I really enjoy this paint. This is going to be my new paint for airbrush, so I'm going to remove for the moment the pro color and use only this one for the moment, because I really enjoy it. So thanks again for Army Painter and for these crazy things, and remember to subscribe to the channel and click on the ring to be sure to don't lose any tutorial from your side, and don't hesitate to support me on Patreon to have access to more content for my channel and to have access to a group so you can share with me your work and I give you my feedback. Thanks again for watching. Once again, this paint is just awesome for your airbrush. I will try it with my brush very soon, and once again, see you soon for the next tutorial. Bye bye.